Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Dormer, and I'm the editor of The Evidence Base. I'm joined today by Mark Heffernan. Mark, please could you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. Hi, my name is Mark Heffernan, and I lead the solution advisory team at BC Platforms. My experience and my background is all designing and implementing real-world data platforms. I worked for ASCO to lead the design and development of their real-world data platform called CancerLink, and I went on to work with other cancer centers in Germany and France, supporting their data and research efforts. For the last 3 years here at BC Platforms, I have worked on all of our real-world data projects globally.
How is BC Platforms working in the real-world data space?
Yeah, BC Platforms works with both biopharma clients who desire to access real-world data, and also an ever-growing network of data partners, hospitals and biobanks who are largely ex-US and who desire to share their data securely with the biopharma industry globally. We therefore act as a trusted advisor, both contractually and also technically between these two groups. Our 26-year heritage developing software for the healthcare and research industry allows us to understand what researchers need, but also to understand the security and the legal implications of data access from and in multiple countries outside of the US. Our company headquarters are in Finland and Switzerland, and that obviously gives us a very strong European focus.
Could you tell us what is a trusted collaboration environment and why was it created?
Yeah, well, maybe we'll start in the following way. I think many people listening to this video may be familiar with the concept of a trusted research environment. It's a concept that was defined first in the UK. And the definition of that involves something called the 5 safes. So safe people, safe projects, safe settings, safe outputs, and safe data. And here in the UK, that concept has actually been extended now to something called the secure data environment, or SDE concept. But what we saw was that a trusted research environment or a secure data environment is useful for a single data controller. So one healthcare organization or even a regional group of healthcare organizations who are wanting to share their data securely with life sciences companies by allowing the researcher into their environment. But what we were hearing from biopharma is that they often require multiple data sets from multiple organizations to be offered in a single analytical environment to run one particular analytical model, for example, propensity score models or something of this nature. And furthermore, they even desire to bring their own data, sometimes their own clinical trial data, into this environment to combine that with the real-world data of these multiple data partners. And going even further, we heard that they desire to bring their own tools to such an environment where they'd be allowed to take then the result files out of the environment, but never the original row-level patient data. So all of those various biopharma client demands really prompted us to create a new kind of analytical environment and this concept of a trusted collaboration environment, which fundamentally is a secure technical and contractual solution for ex-US data partners and data sets to be able to share their data securely with the biopharma industry.
And what pain points does that solve?
Yeah, I suppose many of the pain points I've already discussed are solved with such a concept. And to go into a little bit more detail, so firstly, it allows researchers to access brand new sets of real-world data, but also to have that flexibility to analyze that data in a way that they choose, while also honoring the local and national data protection laws of these largely ex-US data partners. So really, in our view, it represents this sweet spot, this balancing point between the biopharma who desires the data and the data partners who wish to securely share their data with industry. We offer a variety of different patented solution architectures and deployment options, ranging from a purely federated approach for those data partners who cannot allow the data to leave their country and their firewalls, through to a study-based cloud solution where the data is temporarily sitting in a neutral area administered by BC Platforms as a trusted broker between the two parties. At BC Platforms, we're agnostic about the cloud provider that we use for that study-based cloud solution. We work with any of the three big cloud providers. And even for those data partners concerned about something called the US Cloud Act and its implications for data sharing, we also offer a purely European-based cloud solution with a European-only cloud provider. So fundamentally, this TCE concept allows data partners to remain in control of their data within the trusted collaboration environment, and is therefore far superior to the old way, if you like, or the traditional way involving simply data copy arrangements. So this fact actually encourages more data partners to come and join us, to come and join our network and participate in these TCE projects with biopharma. At BC Platforms, we view federation as one of many solution architecture options to achieve that sweet spot, that balancing point. And we've been doing federation in the real world since 2017, making us a pioneer in this secure real world data space.
Are you able to discuss any examples of TCE in action?
Yes, I can share a little bit on that. We have live installations of all forms of those different TCE solution architectures that I mentioned, and they're running globally today. For example, I'll give you three examples. The first is that we have two US-based biopharma organizations who are safely and securely accessing an Israeli Parkinson's disease cohort while remaining completely compliant with Israel law, which for those viewers or listeners will know that Israel law is GDPR plus in many respects. That's one example. The second example is another US-based biopharma who is safely and securely accessing cohorts across multiple therapeutic areas from Africa and also from Finland. And then finally, we have a large US-based pharma who is safely and securely accessing cohorts across multiple therapeutic areas and has the ability to combine their own clinical trial with that data partner data for those various therapeutic areas. That environment is fully compliant with that biopharma's extensive information security policies and governance as well.
And asking you to look into the future a little bit now, but where do you think this field will be in perhaps 5 years' time?
Yeah, well, I'm sure I know there are entire conferences and nature papers devoted to that topic and question. But if I were to make a humble guess, I would hope to see demonstrable progress in three areas. The first is that I hope we all draw closer to the patient journey itself. So patient engagement, e-consent, even telemedicine, working more closely with patients, and also the patient advocacy groups as that trusted collaboration partner as well. I think the patients in 5 years' time, all of us are also patients in many respects. I think we'll all realize that the data is actually ours, and perhaps we'll look for ways to contribute to research studies more directly, for example, from our smartphones and our mobile devices. The other thing I hope for is very practical opportunities by machine learning and AI. So I have a background in statistics, so sometimes I read things and I lament the fact that what's described as machine learning to me isn't truly machine learning. But there are very practical examples coming, and I hope these will come into routine practice. So for example, image analysis is one form of AI with practical implications for the biopharma wanting to share and train their image analysis algorithms across, for example, a federated networks. At the time here, when we're making this video, ChatGPT is all in the news. And so I think in 5 years' time, those chatbots for patient engagement and for other use cases as well, being another form of AI, will be more and more prevalent. I also like the look of machine learning-based natural language processing as well. Having gone through a natural language processing pipeline many years ago, which didn't use machine learning and used very specific rules for trying to identify language patterns, the idea of machine learning to help with NLP is, I think, exciting, and I think we'll see more and more of that in the next 5 years. And finally, BC Platforms, we read the interest a 2021 paper where an AI algorithm outperformed polygenic risk scoring in predicting Parkinson's disease. So again, I think looking ahead, all of those very practical examples and implementations of machine learning and AI, I hope will become routine within the next 5 years and well-defined. And finally, I think, obviously, the world, all of us learned a lot from COVID. And in the area of study protocols and trying to reduce the time and the cost to bring new drugs to market and address unmet patient needs, I really hope that those new forms of study protocol that came to the fore during COVID again become routine practice in the next 5 years.
Great, thank you, Mark, and thank you for joining us today and sharing your thoughts on trusted collaboration environments. Thank you.
Thank you.